keeps us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Still morning. Good morning. Right. Oh man, we got more people in the group. Thank you, Amber. All right. I mean, talking about the family afterward today. This was requested by somebody, I think a few weeks ago now. So we're gonna go big book. Das is the big book. Yep. All right. Don't worry, no wardrobe malfunctions. No wardrobe malfunction. I do have to say something. I must have read it wrong, or maybe I was just wishing a little too hard. But there's no sign that Von Miller is on the Broncos now. He was only let go. So I think I was just wishing. I think is what was going on. So, oh well. Maybe he'll come back. Oh no, he might not be in the physical shape he needs to be in anymore to. I'd like to see him retire as a Bronco, though. But you're not here for football, and you'll probably leave if I talk about football too much longer. So, yeah, I usually get started about 3-minute mark. That gives everybody a chance to hop on. Why do I got this feeling that maybe okay? No, it's working. I agree. I think he's probably a little too old. So it just has Dion's reminiscing, about the good old days. We alcoholics like to do that, right? Like to think about the good old days. It's 11:11 at the moment on 311, which is a pretty good band. I haven't listened to any 311 in a while. I'm gonna get that set up real quick. I got a feeling. There's a amber is the color of your energy. Whoa. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. Whoa. A lot of singing here. Not much dancing. I'm sitting down, but I do sing often. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. I'm always putting what I'm saying to song in my head. We covered this the other day. It's part of my stimming. So I was hoping my finger would get better, but it's not. And I'm getting a little frustrated because I've been to the doctor twice about it. They do no follow-ups. They're like, well, we don't see anything wrong. I'm like, well, it fucking hurts. So, all right. All right. Let's get started. I think it's funny. It feels kind of weird saying the first sentence of this chapter. It's just kind of weird. Okay. But we'll get past it. Our women folk. Our women folk have suggested that's the part that's kind of funny. Have suggested a certain attitude a wife may take with a husband who is recovering. Perhaps they created the impression that he is to be wrapped in cotton wool, placed on a pedestal. Now, successful readjustment means the opposite. All members of the family should meet upon a common ground of tolerance, understanding, and love. This involves a process of deflation. The alcoholic, his wife, his children, his in laws, each one is likely to have fixed ideas about the family's attitude towards himself or herself. Each is interested in having his or her wishes respected. We find the more one member of the family demands that the other concede to him, the more resentful they become. This makes for discord and unhappiness. Now, alcoholism is what we would call a family disease. It involves anybody. It involves anybody that is close to the alcoholic. Now, the person that would be the codependent in this situation, probably usually the wife or the husband, usually somebody close to the alcoholic that kind of makes excuses for him, things like that. Okay. That did not necessarily stem from the alcoholic themselves. These people are usually got their own problems stemming from their own family. It's the way it usually is. Um, I've done a lot of studies in this. You can go look up the dysfunctional family. It'll explain it a lot. Or you can go search for you can go to Daily Trudge, put in the dysfunctional family. And I think I got 2 or 3 of those in there. So you can listen to that. It'll kind of catch you up on that. But see, this person was ill to some extent before the alcoholic even came along. These codependency tendencies, they are usually the lost child in the family dynamic, right? So that does not give an excuse to the alcoholic though. But every single person of an alcoholic family is spiritually sick to some extent. Now, are they required to do all the work that we do? No, this is life or death for us, man. Hi, Michelle. It's your topic. I'm glad you made it. So, and why? Is it not because each wants to play the lead? Is each not trying to arrange the family show to his liking? Is he not unconsciously trying to see what he can take from the family rather than give? Cessation of drinking is but the first step away from a highly strange, abnormal condition. A doctor said to us, years of living with an alcoholic is almost sure to make any wife or child neurotic. The entire family is to some extent ill. I've just read this a lot. That wasn't a psychic thing. I knew it was coming up. And so the thing is, I'm going to go back a little bit here. Sometimes what the wife or husband will want to do is kind of wrap this person in bubble wrap and keep them safe and protected. Oh, they must not see alcohol or hear of alcohol or anything else. This protection in and of itself will actually make an alcoholic go out and drink quicker. It might send them out to the bottle. Okay. I'm going to give a quick example on this. At one point, there was a law trying to be passed here in Colorado. And what would happen is, like Mile High Stadium, they'd have to put aside 10% of their seats to people that wanted to be sober, a sober area. And the people that were pushing for this were people that were also alcoholic, but made money off of doing events at places like that. And so, anyway, okay, now I voted against it. And I'm glad it did not pass. Number one, okay, here's the thing. Just because I'm an alcoholic doesn't mean that you need to give me a special section. Nope. Mm-mm. No, if we cannot live life on life's terms, I still have an alcoholic mind. I can no, it's not gonna work. When I went to Billy Joel, if there had been a sober section and I ended up there, right, then I wouldn't have been able to help the 2 people next to me who had a father who was having a hard time, who was an alcoholic, and I would not have had that chance. That's why. It is my job to become the example that you can go through hard things, walk hand in hand with God, and come out the other side. All right. Let families realize as they start their journey that all will not be fair weather. I ain't even close to being fair weather yet, but at least we got a start. At least we got some hope going on. Each in his turn may be footsore and may straggle. There will be alluring shortcuts and bypass down which they may wander and lose their way. Suppose we tell you some of the obstacles a family will meet. Suppose we suggest how they may be avoided, even converted to good use for others. Family of an alcoholic longs for the return of happiness and security. They remember when father was romantic, thoughtful, and successful. Today's life is measured against that other years, and when it fall short, the family may be unhappy. It didn't work that way for me. When it came to my kids, I could only go up. So I was kind of fortunate that they didn't have this expectation of how I used to be. Now, my wife, Shannon, I was her high school sweetheart. She wasn't my high school sweetheart because, well, I didn't go to high school, but I was the age. I met her when I was 17. She was 15, may have even been 16. Not sure. Can't remember. But she never used it against me. What she did say was, when I was drinking, she'd say, I know the sober Dion, and I know what he's like. And she's talking about the person that you meet now, the person I am today, right now. She's like, I know that, Dion. So I'm going to love you until I get that person back, and help me. So family confidence in dad is rising high. The good old days will soon be back, they think. Here's the thing that we need to understand. I was just talking about this with Vaughn Miller, that I wanted the good old days, right? See, God, and I did not set up that segue. When you let God speak through you, he does that stuff for you. That in and of itself is a spiritual experience, by the way. Okay. The key is to make new good days. We can't live in the past. Okay. I will never be a younger version of myself at any given time. It would be impossible to do. I would need dementia in order to do that. I have too many memories. I have too many experiences. I've been through too many things. And what did I always do? Well, the thing is, when I drank for the first time, everything changed. Suddenly I was popular. Everybody wanted to be around Dion. So if you didn't think I was looking, that I didn't have my answer, I did. Even though I knew that I might be an alcoholic, still that did not change. Peer pressure outweighed that by a big amount. And what I would do for the rest of my life is chase that first drunk. That's what we're chasing. That's why we add on the pills. That's why we add on drugs. That's why we add on sex and gambling and everything else, to try and make that alcohol so that we can go back to that feeling that we first had. But the problem is you can't experience something new twice. And therefore, I never found it again. I found variations of it, but I would never feel that feeling ever again until I did the steps. Now it happens all the time. Sometimes they demand that dad bring them back instantly. God, they believe, almost owes them this recompense on a long overdue account. But the head of the house has spent years in pulling those structures of business, romance, friendship, health. These things are now ruined or damaged. It will take time to clear away the wreck. Though old buildings will eventually be replaced by finer ones, the new structures will take years to complete. Father knows he is to blame. It may take him many seasons of hard work to be restored financially, but he shouldn't be reproached. Perhaps he will never have much money again. But the wise family will admire him for what he is trying to be, rather than for what he is trying to get. Now and then, the family will be plagued by specters from the past, for the drinking career of almost every alcoholic has been marked by escapades, funny, humiliating, shameful, or tragic. The first impulse will be to bury these skeletons in the dark closet and padlock the door. The family may be possessed, that the future happiness can be based only upon forgetfulness of the past. We think that such a view is self-centered and in direct conflict with the new way of living. Anytime you say popular, I hear that stupid song, and I only know that one line of the song. I don't know that it's even what it's even from, and I don't know what song you're talking about. Give me the line, and maybe I can help you out. Right? This is something that it doesn't feel like. It feels like my family. It still keeps those skeletons in the closet. It's never been talked about, at least not around me. That's why I say I assume, because I don't know for sure. I could be wrong on that. I could be wrong. But gosh, actions kind of tell me everything. They kind of tell me everything. So, or non-action, right? Yeah. I do hope that the rest of the family did sit down even without me and work that out. I do. All right. So Henry Ford once made a wise remark to the effect that experience is a thing of supreme value in life. That is only true if one is willing to turn the past to good account. We grow by our willingness to face and rectify errors and convert them into assets. The alcoholic's past then thus becomes the principal asset of the family, and frequently it is almost the only one. Not in my family. You know, my kids may have done some silly things in their life. I'm not going to call them stupid things because I don't think my kids are stupid. Right. But every single one of my kids is a giving person. They have a sacred heart and they're very good people. Right. And, my kids are the kind of people where if they see somebody stuck on the side of the road, they help. When they see a neighbor in trouble, they help. Um, we live in a cul-de-sac and the sidewalks are pretty long. It's quite often my son's out there shoveling everybody else's walk. you know they get along with the neighbors, things like this. We're of service, you know um so when they see dad doing it, what they do is they double their efforts. They become even better people, right? Because they were doing that before I got sober. Right. Proud of my kids, man. The painful past may be of infinite value to other families still struggling with their problem. We think We think each family which has been relieved owes something to those who have not. And when the occasion requires, each member of it should be only too willing to bring former mistakes, no matter how grievous, out of their hiding places. They make it sound like it's going to happen, but it doesn't always work that way. There are people in There are people in my family that are not willing to do that. In fact, some of them are kind of mad that I talk about it here. They get upset that I talk about it here. Well, how else am I going to help people? You know, I was an absentee father and I've come to terms with that. Now it's gold. I'm not an absentee father anymore. I'm not that person anymore. I'm proof that people can change, that you can be better. So go for that. Go for that. Or you could just whine and complain that I talk about my family life. Hey, it happened, man. It happened. Right. But everything that I bring up is so that we can make progress, so that you don't feel alone. So I don't feel alone. Right. So don't set up expectations that your family is going to come back around. I have 8 brothers and sisters. I talk to none. And in fact, I have 4 brothers and I have 4 sisters. All right. I have one sister who's a friend on Facebook. That's it. That is it. 3 of my sisters and 1 of my brothers, I've never even met face to face, talked to them on the phone a couple of times. They want nothing to do with me. I don't know why, which just tells me they have skeletons hidden in their closet that they have not fucking worked through. I think what it is I remind them of their father, and they did not like my biological father. He was all right, kind of a dick. Kind of dick. I think I remind them of him because I'm very abrupt. I'm very straightforward. I don't think they like that. That's okay. It's okay. I've got a family. I've got a wife. I've got kids. I've got ex-wives that I talk to. You know, in fact, maybe I ought to work on making that one ex-wife relationship a little bit better so it's better for my daughter. Darn it. I'd rather hate her. I'd rather just not like her. But yeah, but I am willing to take the chance of getting my toes stepped on if it means it's going to be better for my daughter and my grandchildren. In fact, maybe that's something that I need to start. Darn it, God. I don't always want to be the bigger person. It gets wearing. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to have to do it. I'll send her an email. But I'm going to talk to my therapist about it first. So, and probably Pastor Marcia. Yay, I get to see Pastor Marcia tomorrow. Yay, I have therapy today at 2. And I talk to a good friend tomorrow. See, these are the things that make me happy. See me light up? Yeah, So anyway, showing others who suffer how we were given help is the very thing which makes life seem so worthwhile to us now. Cling to the thought that in God's hands, the dark past is the greatest possession you have, the key to life and happiness for others. With it, you can avert death and misery for them. That's pretty cool, man. Thanks, Michelle. I'm proud of you too. Proud of you too. You've made a lot of progress in the time I've known you. All right. Now I'm gonna go to the end here because I'm running out of time. I gotta finish this up in about 4 minutes. The alcoholic, I'm on page 134. The alcoholic may find it hard to reestablish friendly relations with his children. Their young minds were impressionable while he was drinking without saying so. They may cordially hate him for what he has done to them and to their mother. My kids went through this. This is the part that I went through. They didn't see the actual dad. They didn't even know dad until 8 years ago. And even then, and I'd say it was more like 3-4 years ago. For the first 4 or 5 years of my sobriety, my kids did not talk to me. They hated me. It was a whole cancel culture thing that kind of helped, but I can't blame cancel culture. All I could do was keep trying. It was all I could do. Even then, sometimes I see my kids in the morning and they don't say anything. I'm like, good morning. And they don't hate me anymore. No. Am I really close with all of them? I'd like to be closer. That's going to take some more time. And that's okay. The hate isn't there anymore. We worked through the skeletons in the closet. I became a different person for them. And they know that. But it took time. The one child I thought was going to take forever was the shortest amount of time. All right. But I've also screwed up on some things of being a father while in recovery, which affected those things. So the children are sometimes dominated by pathetic hardness and cynicism. They cannot seem to forgive and forget. This may hang on for months or years, long after their mother has accepted dad's new way of living and thinking. In time, they will see that he is a new man, and in their own way, they will let him know it. When this happens, they can be invited to join in morning meditation, and then they can take part in the daily discussion without rancor or bias. From that point on, progress will be rapid. Marvelous results follow in such a reunion. My kids aren't up for that. I pray alone. I meditate alone. It's one of my selfish things. That should be more, a little more. They don't want to. Okay. They know what I do. They can fucking hear me down here. They see me on the phone. They know what I'm up to. Okay. But my kids aren't very religious or spiritual or anything. So I don't bring it up. But that doesn't mean that we can't have a good, deep conversation. I mean, I got a couple of podcasts with my daughter and I. Probably about time to do another one too. Whether the family goes on a spiritual basis or not, the alcoholic member has to if he would recover. The others must be convinced of his new status beyond the shadow of a doubt. Seeing is believing to most families who have lived with a drinker. There it is. What is time good for? Trust in non alcoholics. About it. And it's going to vary. It's going to vary, right? Because you're killing off the old self here. Excuse me. You're killing off the old self here. What does that mean? It means that they're going to go through the process of uh of death. What's it called? I forget. My stomach's hurting, so it's hard for me to think when it's like that. Here's a case in point. One of our friends is a heavy smoker and coffee drinker. There was no doubt he overindulged. That would be me. Seeing this and meaning to be helpful, his wife commenced to admonish him about it. He admitted he was overdoing these things, but frankly said that he was not ready to stop. His wife is one of those persons who really feels there's something rather sinful about these commodities. So she nagged, and her intolerance finally threw him to a fit of anger. He got drunk. That's not really on her, so you know, not on her. They're kind of making it sound that way, but no, it's on him. But, I get it. There's a balance in there, right? Of course, our friend was wrong, dead wrong. There we go. He had to painfully admit and mend his spiritual fences. Though he is now a most effective member of Alcoholics Anonymous, he still smokes and drinks coffee, but neither his wife nor anyone else stands in judgment. She sees she was wrong in making a burning issue out of such a matter when his more serious ailments were being rapidly cured. We have three little mottos which are apropos. Here they are. First things first. Live and let live, and easy does it. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I will see several of you in 24 minutes. I love you. You know I do. Peace out and have a day.